Howdy, welcome to our final event of Campus Earth Month. My name is Danielle LePerrier. I'm the Sustainability Manager with the Office of Sustainability and Campus Enrichment. And today we're presenting our first ever Green Career Showcase. And we are joined by 4 dynamic professionals working in diverse areas of sustainability, from environmental law and sustainable consulting to urban planning and green business strategy. They're going to share their career journeys, give you some advice on how, and then share how they're making a real impact every day. I'm going to introduce you to our 4 panelists shortly, but first, a little bit of housekeeping and some plugs for other opportunities for you to get involved during Campus Earth Month. Up first, on the housekeeping side, I have pinned all 4 of our panelists so that you should be able to see them at all times. I'm going to stop the slide deck after I do my introduction so that you'll be able to see all 4 of them on your screen together. For the best experience, you're going to want to set your Zoom to side-by-side mode. I've also turned on live transcript, so if you need closed captioning, you can go into your Zoom bar and turn on captioning. Then there will be questions through a good portion of this talk in the second half. So if you have questions for our panelists, please drop them in the Q&A, or if you can't find that in the chat is fine. And then finally, please note that we are recording this session so that we can post it on YouTube and share with future interns and future Aggies. So as I said, April is Campus Earth Month, and tomorrow is actually Earth Day, although we celebrated Campus Earth Day last Wednesday and had a few hundred Aggies come out and hear from our interns and participate in various activities. But all semester long, if you are a current all month long, if you are a current student, staff, or faculty, you're eligible to collect code words this month for entries into our grand prize giveaway. And so 1 code word is 1 entry, and you're going to get 5 code words today by joining us live. And if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, there will be 1 code that shows up on the slides eventually. Keep track of them and then submit them by midnight tonight. It's actually the last day to submit to sustainability@tamu.edu. All the details for other ways that you can earn prizes are at text.ag/earthmonth. And if you're late to the game and want to get in a few code words today while you're thinking about it, there's still a few opportunities. You could go and get certified through the Aggie Sustainability Alliance, or certify your dorm through ResLife's Green Dorm Certification Program. You could also check us out on social media. I suspect there'll probably be a random drop of a code word before the end of the day, or you can tag us in something you're doing that is sustainable there. And then finally, details coming on this one, you can watch the recaps of our internship talk series. Before I get to those details, a plug for what these prizes look like. Top tier prize is a choice of anything on that first row. I think it's amazing that we're now offering a $250 tuition scholarship as that top tier prize. In tier 2, my personal favorite continues to be the double hammock, and tier 3, the Stanley tumbler, continues to be a winner with students, but we've added some new things, including Lucy solar string lights or a mini hip bag from Patagonia. Talking about those intern talks, I'm a little maybe nostalgic today because it's my last full week with this amazing spring 2025 internship group. And over the month of April, they have been undertaking talks. And so I'm going to go through each of those talks. They're all available on YouTube now. Juliana and Shrita did a talk called Concrete to Canopy, Why Urban Forests Matter to You. And it asked the question, what if a concrete jungle could breathe? In the talk, you'll learn more about urban forests and the transition from cityscapes to biodiverse green spaces that provide many benefits for our daily lives. They gave real-world examples and helped you discover how reconnecting cities to nature could shape a better future for everyone. Our second talk of the month, which you can also check on YouTube, was put on by Elena and Isabella. It was called Be a Man, Gender's Role in Sustainable Conversations. And they delved into the distinct relationship between gender and sustainability, helping us uncover how societal norms shape environmental attitudes and behaviors. They shared historical influences, the role of hypermasculinity in climate disengagement, and helped us explore why environmentalism is often perceived as feminine and how this perception creates barriers to progress. By challenging these narratives and highlighting solutions, their talk aimed to reshape the way sustainability is approached. So that includes everyone. Our third talk of the month was put on by Sophia and Bilal, Efficiency or Erosion, Impacts of Federal Job Cuts and Tools for Organizing. It helped us go beyond the headlines of sweeping federal job cuts over the past few months and share how the academic, social, and economic impacts of these events and how people are taking action to respond and recover and help inspire us all. Our final talk that wrapped us up was Demystifying AI and What It Means for a Sustainable Future, put on by our two not-so-robot-y interns, Kushal and Rebecca. It took us behind that curtain of that magic black box that seemingly gives us all the answers to our questions right at our fingertips. And they had us asking, what types of impacts does our search in AI have? As they break down the impacts of AI on the three pillars of sustainability, people, planet, and profit, and the role of AI in creating a sustainable future. So that wraps up our talk. I'm pretty proud of what these students put together this semester. And as I said, maybe a little nostalgic because it's my last full week with them. But that moves us on to our final event, which is our Green Career Showcase. And today I would like to welcome our speakers. I'm going to get a little background of each. So I'm going to start with Sreevidya. She graduated from Texas A&M, majoring in biological and agricultural engineering in the class of 2017. She's currently a strategy and analytics manager at Deloitte with several years of experience helping government and private sector clients navigate complex, driving change through data, technology, and AI. Off the clock, she's fueled by a passion for travel and photography, always chasing the perfect shot, whether it's a stunning cityscape or a quiet moment in nature. She's also a former intern from our office. Next on our panel is Shelby. Shelby received her environmental geoscience degree from Texas A&M in 2015. And during her time here, she served as a member and counselor of Sophomores Leading and Motivating, SLAM, and the secretary and president of Environmental Programs Involvement Committee, EPIC. She also served with our office as an outreach specialist. And after graduating, she served as the disaster recovery AmeriCorps volunteer in the Service to America at the Alliance of Community Assistance Ministries, where she collaborated with multiple organizations to help the Houston community recover from recent floods. She received the Texas Governor's Volunteer Make a Difference Award for her AmeriCorps service for ensuring sustainability of a nonprofit organization through capacity building. She worked at One Star Foundation, the State Service Commission for National Service and Volunteerism, where she facilitated disaster services for Hurricane Harvey, led recruitment and outreach for the statewide intermediary VISTA project, and managed multi-million-dollar federal grant funds. She is currently a senior planner with the City of Temple, where she leads projects for annexation, plat applications, and rezonings, and facilitates development of residential and commercial growth. She also assists customers and businesses with planning and zoning development and compliance. And in her free time, she enjoys volunteering, hiking, listening to music, and spending time with her friends, husband and family, 2 dogs, Snickers, and Papacito. Next up on our panel is Dane Warren. Dane is a former Aggie Green Fund chair with the Office of Sustainability and here at A&M. He grew up in Austin before attending Texas A&M, where he graduated with a BS in economics in the class of 2014. Dane then attended Columbia Law School, where he focused on environmental and administrative law, graduating in 2017. After spending 2 years clerking for federal judges in New York, he joined his current firm to practice environmental law. Dane's practice focuses on environmental review of complex development projects, renewable energy development, and environmental litigation. And then finally, drawing up our esteemed panel is Emily. Emily graduated from Texas A&M with a bachelor's in environmental studies in the class of 2016. She went on to do a master's of science in sustainable management at the University of Wisconsin, where she graduated in 2018. Emily is an experienced environmental scientist specializing in environmental justice assessments with experience in threatened and endangered species surveys, data assessment, agency coordination, historic and cultural resource desktop assessments, and more. Emily is the sustainability officer for her company and is responsible for maintaining the company's small women-owned business certification. Emily was also a former intern with our office, and at the time we had intern leads, and so she was a lead intern and spent several semesters with our office. Okay, with that ends my speech, but first I want to give you guys your first code word of the day, which is resume. So I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to our panelists and ask them for kind of the first piece is provide a brief overview of your current role. And we're going to start with Sreevidya.
Hey all, nice to meet you. Nice to see you all. Um, a little bit about myself. So as we learned, I'm a strategy and analytics manager at Deloitte. And what that means is basically on a day-to-day basis, I work with our government sector clients to help them understand data, help them break down all the stuff that's going on with the government and strategize with them on plans and things that could help them in various capacities, ranging from like budgeting to forecasting, AI, now that everyone's talking about AI and stuff. So I essentially work with different sectors. So, some of our federal health clients, some of our DoD clients. So it's a very, very fun experience because every day is something new for me. Every project is new. I've been with Deloitte for about 4 years now. So it's like one day I'm working with people working in healthcare, our clients in our healthcare sector. One day I'm working on like naval systems. I'm working with our military. So I really enjoy it because it allows us to look at data, process data, and then break down data into some simple ways that the clients and our government employees can actually use that towards helping work on their processes a little bit better. So happy to take questions later or now, but we can, that's a little bit about myself.
I'm going to pass it to Shelby here. A brief overview of your current role.
Sure. Howdy and good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Shelby Smith. I'm currently a city planner, serving as a senior planner. And so my everyday job includes a lot of different aspects, but sometimes just starting as a zoning verification, helping customers, residents, developers understand what they can and can't do at a certain location, just understanding the land use and looking at our unified development code and compliance with that. But also it's just asking or being able to answer questions from customers that want to know about the rezoning process. And then also being able to help with any company resident who's wanting to get into the limits of the city. So city limits and annex outside of the extraterritorial jurisdiction. But really it's an opportunity in my job where I'm using the data analysis skills and monitoring and compliance to really just help residents and community and members of the community to help them be able to develop different projects and also including with commercial. Sometimes it's residential development, sometimes it's big developments, but mainly it's being able to provide assistance with the zoning regulations, with our city ordinances as well, and being able to see what a sustainable, compliant community or development will look like. So it's something I really enjoy. I saw it as an opportunity to use the skills I obtained within my degree, but also different experiences to still be able to provide a public service to people and make sure everything's in compliant and also compliant with public safety as well. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Shelby. Dane, I'll pass it to you.
Sure. Hey, everybody. I think I'm the oldest person on the panel, which is really depressing. So I graduated in 2014. My path to where I am now was a little bit circuitous. So I moved up to New York and I went to law school. I studied, I think I listed in there environmental and administrative law. That's what I focused on, but there's no environmental law degree, right? You just get a law degree. But I took all the environmental law classes that I could, and I took a lot of administrative law classes, which are really relevant to practicing in the area that I do. Um, so my current role, environmental law is an extremely broad field, and what one environmental lawyer does is going to be very different than what another environmental lawyer does, and it varies a lot by region. My work is generally fits, I think, into like three buckets. One of them is doing environmental review and permitting for large infrastructure development projects. So, for instance, we represent the MTA, which runs New York City's subway and bus systems, and the Port Authority, which runs all of the toll roads and bridges and everything else in the city. So whenever they have to build a new bridge, they have to do a lot of environmental review and permitting, and we help them do those things. Similarly with, subway expansion projects. So that's sort of one bucket of work. Relatedly, we do a lot of renewable energy, large-scale renewable energy project development, a lot of offshore wind and large solar projects in the state. That's sort of one bucket, which is like environmental review and permitting for development projects that are, I think, good for the world. Another is litigation. So there are a lot of polluted sites in the world, and people often need to fight about who's going to clean them up or who's going to pay for it. That's one bucket of work. My short description suggests I'm probably less interested in that, but it's a part of what we do. The last that I do anyway is work on corporate transactions or real estate transactions. So one company buys another property from another company. There are complicated environmental regulations that go into liability allocation. And so part of what we do is managing environmental risk in those kinds of transactions. Similarly, not, the most exciting on a day-to-day basis, but it's like environmentally neutral work and it's interesting and good for the world. So that's what most of my day looks like every day. I've been doing this for, I think this is my sixth or seventh year doing this job. But I think what you're going to find is that a lot of us do a really, really broad array of interesting things in this little field of environmentalism. All right, I'll pass it off. Thanks, Danielle.
Jane. I would pass it to Emily.
Howdy, everyone. My name is Emily Barzenpour. I'm an environmental scientist with Dranby Environmental Consulting. We are a consulting firm, so my work is project-based and client-based. Most of my